You think you understand toughness. You think resilience is about pushing harder, or grinding longer, or simply refusing to quit. But the Spartans knew something most people today will never learn. Mental toughness is not an emotion. It's not a personality trait. It's an identity, a system, a crafted mind. And for over 700 years, that system produced some of the most resilient human beings in recorded history. Today, we're going to decode it. But not in the way YouTube usually does, with surface-level aesthetics, slow-motion spears, and vague talk about discipline. No, we're going into the psychology, the anthropology, the identity architecture, the stress conditioning principles that modern science, shockingly, is only now rediscovering. If you stay with me until the end of this video, you won't just understand the Spartan mind. You will walk away with a blueprint to build your own. 7 rules, 7 psychological mechanisms, 7 drills you can implement today. Let's begin. By the end of this video, you'll understand how Spartans engineered identity at the cellular level, how deliberate hardship rewires the prefrontal cortex, how social identity multiplies discipline, how rituals eliminate decision fatigue, how chaos training prepares your mind for uncertainty, how truth-based reflection cuts self-deception, and how micro-progress compounds into unbreakable resilience. This isn't entertainment. This is a blueprint. So ask yourself now, what skill, what challenge, what battle in your life will you apply this to? Hold that answer, because it will matter. Before we go into the 7 rules, you need to understand the system that forged them. The Spartan agōgē was not a training school. It wasn't a boot camp. It wasn't some exotic military tradition. It was a state-engineered psychological transformation program. Spartan boys were removed from their families at 7. They were placed in communal groups. They lived together, trained together, slept together, competed together. Everything they owned, everything they ate, everything they endured was shared. This wasn't brutality for the sake of brutality, it was identity construction. The goal of the agōgē was simple: create a human being whose sense of self was inseparable from courage, discipline, and group loyalty. Ancient historians like Plutarch and Xenophon wrote about this system with awe, because it was unlike anything else in the ancient world. It didn't just train their bodies, it rewired their perception of reality. And here is the critical insight. The agōgē wasn't designed to build warriors, it was designed to build worldviews. Once you understand that, every Spartan rule begins to make perfect sense. We live in an age overflowing with comfort. We have infinite access, infinite ease, infinite distraction. Yet somehow, anxiety is up, meaning is down, focus is collapsing, identity is dissolving, and people break under pressures far lighter than those faced by previous generations. The modern world is full of information and starving for structure. It gives us comfort, but removes the very challenges that make us resilient. Most people today don't lack intelligence. They lack stress capacity. Psychologists call the antidote stress inoculation, small, deliberate doses of discomfort that harden your mind the way a vaccine trains your immune system. The Spartans were doing this 2,500 years before it had a name. That's why we study them. Not to copy their world, but to extract their wisdom. Now we begin. Each rule has 3 layers: history, psychology, and the modern drill. Stay with me, because each rule builds on the last. Rule 1. Own an identity. I am the kind of person who endures. The Spartans understood something profound. If you want consistent behavior, you cannot start with goals. You must start with identity. Spartan boys didn't act disciplined because they wanted to be disciplined. They acted disciplined because they were told, again and again, through ritual, training, and culture, that discipline was who they were. Their entire environment reinforced one message: a Spartan endures. And once a behavior becomes identity, discipline becomes automatic. Modern psychology confirms this. Identity-based habits are the most stable form of behavior change. If you want to transform your life, stop asking, "What should I do?" and start asking, "Who must I become?" Modern drill. Write one identity line. I am the kind of person who finishes what they start. I am the kind of person who does the hard thing first. Repeat it daily. Then do one tiny act that proves it. Identity is formed through repetition, not inspiration. Rule 2. Seek controlled discomfort. The Spartans deliberately engineered hardship, hunger, cold, competition, fatigue, trials, deprivation, endurance tests, not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood a universal psychological law. What you avoid grows stronger. What you confront becomes easier. Stress inoculation training shows that small, controlled exposure to discomfort increases resilience, decision-making capacity, and emotional stability under pressure. Spartans weren't superhuman. They were simply conditioned. Modern drill. Start with micro-discomfort. 30 seconds cold shower, 10 minutes of intense intervals, a 24-hour digital fast. The goal is not pain, it's capacity. Every day, train yourself to do one thing you prefer not to do. This is how strength accumulates.
Brothers of the Spear, we are unbreakable. We are Sparta.
Rule 3. Make suffering social. One of the most overlooked truths about the agōgē. Spartans did not train alone. They trained in groups called agōgē, packs. These groups created structure, pressure, competition, and loyalty. Modern psychology has a term for this: social identity reinforcement. When the people around you share your values, discipline becomes contagious. This is why most people fail at self-improvement. They try to do it alone. Modern drill. Find one person, just one. Share a goal, share a ritual, share a challenge. When discipline becomes social, it becomes durable. Rule 4. Reduce life to non-negotiables. Spartans eliminated ambiguity. Every member of society knew exactly what was expected of them. No confusion, no negotiation, no maybe later. This created clarity, and clarity creates discipline. Rituals eliminate decision fatigue. Standards replace motivation. Most people fail because they treat everything as flexible. Spartans weren't super disciplined, they just had fewer decisions to make. Modern drill. Choose 3 daily non-negotiables. Protect them viciously. These become your modern rituals, your mental armor. Rule 5. Train for uncertainty. The Spartans didn't train with predictable routines. They introduced randomness, surprise drills, intense competitions, unpredictable challenges, combat scenarios requiring adaptation. Modern neuroscience confirms that this type of variable training dramatically improves performance under stress. The world does not break you with what you expect. It breaks you with what you don't. Modern drill. Create a weekly chaos session. Do your skill under fatigue. Change the environment. Add interruptions. Introduce time pressure. Train your mind to adapt, not collapse.
Do not lie to me, boy. The honor of Sparta demands the truth.
I failed. It was my fault.
Rule 6. Tell yourself the truth. Spartan culture valued blunt honesty. Not emotional cruelty, but clarity. Self-deception destroys resilience. Distortions multiply anxiety. Avoidance inflates fear. Modern psychology calls this cognitive appraisal. Seeing reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. The Spartans practiced this naturally. They were trained to evaluate themselves without ego, without excuses, without shame. Modern drill. Every night, answer 3 questions. What did I avoid today? What uncomfortable action must I take tomorrow? What did I genuinely do well? Truth builds clarity. Clarity builds courage. Rule 7. Progress in tiny, measurable steps. The agōgē was not one giant leap. It was a series of escalating stages. Growth wasn't glamorous. It was incremental. Modern psychology confirms this. Small stressors compound, forming a staircase of resilience over time. This is the principle most people ignore. You don't become unbreakable through intensity. You become unbreakable through consistency. Modern drill. Start a 90-day log. Commit to 1% daily improvement. Never miss 2 days in a row. Gradually scale discomfort, discipline, and identity rituals. This is how toughness becomes inevitable. Let's connect all this with modern psychology. Stress inoculation explains rules 2, 5, and 7. Identity-based habit formation explains rule 1. Social identity theory explains rule 3. Cognitive appraisal explains rule 6. Behavioral design explains rule 4. What the Spartans discovered intuitively, we are only now rediscovering through research. Toughness is not mystical. It's architectural. It's constructed. And now you can construct it too. The 30 to 90-day Spartan Mind Experiment. Here is your modern blueprint. 30 days. Baseline. Every morning. 2-minute cold exposure. 5 push-ups. 1 identity affirmation. Every day. 45 to 60 minutes of skill practice. 1 micro discomfort. Nightly truth reflection. 90 days. Deep phase. Weekly. 1 chaos session. Accountability check-in. Monthly. A 24-hour discomfort day. No digital devices, physical labor, cold exposure, solitude. The goal isn't suffering, it's clarity, structure, capacity, identity. You don't need to be Spartan to build the Spartan mind. You just need to accept one truth. Comfort is a cage. Avoidance is a prison. Identity is a choice, and resilience is earned one decision at a time. When you choose discomfort over avoidance, when you choose truth over distortion, when you choose identity over impulse, you begin to build a mind that cannot be broken. Not because life is easy, but because you are prepared. So tell me, what skill will you test this on? What challenge will you endure? What identity will you choose? Leave your answer in the comments. Join the experiment. And if you want the full 30/90-day worksheet, you can download it below. This is Psyche Logos, where psychology meets identity, and identity becomes destiny. Welcome to the beginning of your Spartan mind.